when an organization sends out a letter saying we're going in a new direction, you you can admire their courage. When you're in a playoff race, you can admire their courage. Or there are other organizations. I remember the Canucks sending out a letter like that too. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. I'm going to go ahead and read this through. As a member of the, this is a message from Glenn Sather and Jeff Gorton of the Rangers sent out on Twitter. As a member of the Blue Shirt faithful, we consider you a part of the New York Rangers family and always want to ensure we share important news about the organization directly with you. Today we want to talk about the future. As you know, since the 2005-2006 season, we've been a highly competitive team. We've played 129 playoff games, won the President's Trophy, reached the conference finals 3 times, as well as the Stanley Cup final. While we're proud of those accomplishments, we didn't reach our ultimate goal of bringing the Stanley Cup back to New York. So as we do every season, we've been continually evaluating our team, looking for areas that can be improved to enhance our chances of winning. We began the process of reshaping our team this past summer when we traded for assets that we believe will help us in the years to come. As we approach the trade deadline later this month and into the summer, we'll be focused on adding young, competitive players that combine speed, skill, and character. This may mean we lose some familiar faces, guys we all care about and respect. While that is part of the game, it's never easy. Our promise to you is that our plans will be guided by our singular commitment, ensuring we are building the foundation for our next Stanley Cup contender. There are no fans like Rangers fans. You're passionate, loyal, and true. You fill the garden every night, and we always know there'll be a strong showing from Rangers Town in every building across the league. We do not take your support for granted. We appreciate that you've always stood by us, and we ask you to remain by our side as we undertake this exciting new chapter filled with promise and change. So, yeah, there's the message the Rangers give their faithful. So, of course, this has led to wild speculation. Zuccarello's gone. Or maybe Lundqvist. Lundqvist has been asked, are they going to move you? And Lundqvist is like, well, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to spend the rest of my career in New York, but you got to do what you got to do. And if they trade me, they trade me. They're not trading Lundqvist. It's not going to happen. There are moves that could happen over the next week. Brendan Smith went on waivers today, so I might as well throw that into this video as well. Brendan Smith signed for 4 years for way too much money for a number 5 slicks defenseman, and they regretted it. This is why when you get a guy at the deadline and he plays well into the playoffs, be careful. Because if he's a UFA, he may be playing for that new contract. He may be skating a little harder. He may be playing a little better because he knows he may not have a job come July 1st. So he's playing really, really hard to get that job. Brendan Smith, I think, is a decent 5'6" guy. The problem is with that contract and 3 more years on it, there's no way that anybody will pick up that contract. I can't see him not clearing waivers. But once he's cleared waivers, it doesn't mean he doesn't move. Once he's cleared waivers, I think the conversations will continue. I think they'll probably find somebody willing to take him on. I'm looking at you, Arizona. There are worse defensemen in the league than Smith, but he's part and parcel of a problem with the Rangers that I thought they'd overcome. I thought they'd overcome the team full of veterans and not enough youth. And people blame Vigneault, and it's fine they blame Vigneault in Vancouver. But what I've seen with the Rangers is somewhat similar to what it was with Vancouver. When Vigneault was in Vancouver, we didn't have the prospect pool, and a lot of the prospects he passed on weren't that great. And Sergei Shirokov is a good example of that. And Canuck fans went crazy when Shirokov wasn't given a shot at top 6 minutes, and just it was crazy, and I see some of that with Vigneault too. But there are some really good prospects for the Rangers, and I don't know, looking at the Rangers lineup and what they're going to do if Vigneault's the right coach for it. I think part of this letter is, guys, we're probably going to move the coach. It's probably part of it too, that they're going to either Vigneault, maybe they'll keep him in the organization in some other capacity, but more than likely they let him go. To throw in the towel when you're this close to the playoffs is a gutsy move. It is not an easy move to make. It's the right move. And if it helps bring in players that complement the young guys like Anderson and Cheadle when they get into the lineup on a regular basis, excellent. And there are some really decent prospects that the Rangers have. one of the many Ilya Igor goaltenders that's yet to come up. Washington, the Islanders, and the Rangers are going to have a battle over which one got the best goaltender with a first name starting with I and a last name starting with S. And you guys can let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who's going to win that battle? Because there's 3 of them and they all look really good. But for right now, the Rangers are selling. Now, my concern is this. So you look at where the Rangers are right now. Let me go ahead and load up their stats. Okay, so let's take a look here. So Zuccarello is the guy they talk about a lot. 38 points in 53 games. Miller's not going anywhere. Buchnevich isn't going anywhere. Zibanejad, 29 points in 45 games. I doubt he's going anywhere. His play has fallen off. His numbers have definitely taken a nosedive since the first 20 games of the season. McDonough might be one to go. I know his name gets thrown out there a lot. I don't know how much you get back for him. Grabner might go. He's still at 21 goals. He was at 21 goals. Wasn't it like 10 games ago he hit 21 goals? It was a while ago, I think. Rick Nash, 16 goals, 26 points. He probably goes. Desharnais, he might go somewhere as a rental. Shattenkirk is there. I don't think Shattenkirk moves. I don't think they move Kreider either. I know everybody hates Kreider, but I don't think he moves. Kevin Hayes, likely on the way out. Kevin Hayes, Jimmy Hayes, maybe they could play together. I don't know. Either way, Jimmy Hayes and Kevin Hayes are not putting up great numbers right now. Jesper Fast probably stays. VC I think stays. Brady Shea won't be going anywhere. Paul Carey might. He's not really a big piece though. Nick Holden, they've been trying to move Nick Holden. Boo Nieves isn't going anywhere. Smith, of course, was waived, so they're trying to get rid of him. I think they would move Mark Stahl if the right offer came in. Lettieri isn't going anywhere. D'Angelo, he may move again. He's already moved twice early in his career. Holland, no real value there. McLeod, well, they got him on waivers. Kampfer, Catenacci, and there's Cheadle at the bottom with 2 games and no point. Like, this is where it gets tricky. So if you're a Rangers fan, you're like, all right, we're gonna move out, insert name of players here. Sorry, Shadow, didn't mean to drop that on you. The matter then becomes, well, what are you getting back? So you're trading out all these veteran pieces or mid-20s, late 20s. They're not going to pan out pieces. What are you getting back? So that's the question I've always asked people whenever they talk about, you've got to trade, insert name of player here. Well, what are you getting back for him? Is it worth what you give up? Zuccarello might have really solid value. He also might go somewhere and play really, really well. I don't know. It's funny because coming into this season, everybody loved Zuccarello, and he could do no wrong. And again, 20 games into the season, everything's fantastic. There are times where teams overcorrect, where they have these seasons like this, and then they go too far to try to fix a problem, and they make it worse. I look at what's going on down in Arizona. That's part of how Arizona ended up here, is that there were issues, and they weren't good enough to be in the playoffs, but too many moves were made. Too many guys moved out and not enough brought back. And sometimes they just looked and got young players and they weren't necessarily young, solid NHL players with the upside of the players they were getting rid of. So let me know who you think's going to go before the deadline for the Rangers. Does this letter mean it's a full rebuild or is this a retool? And is this just PR? Is this because we found out that they were talking about doing a rebuild, so they're like, well, we got to get out ahead of this because this rumor is out there and we have to say something? Let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And hey, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.